This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
All right, keep clapping now. Sounds good. Everywhere I go.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Oh, that sounds so good. That's called clapping on the back feet. All right, sing this real quiet with me now.
Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Even when I'm afraid, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Hello, God. Thank you for my family and friends. I love you a lot. Amen.
The Jordan River stood between the Israelites and their promised land. But the same God who miraculously delivered them from the slavery of Egypt would once again make a way where there was no way. It is time for you to separate yourselves from the things of the world that hold you back from God, Joshua declared to the people of Israel, for tomorrow the Lord will do amazing wonders before your eyes. As God had been with Moses when he parted the Red Sea 40 years earlier, the Lord promised he would also be with Joshua. Inspired by this confidence, Joshua explained the plan that God had given him. "Here's what we will do," Joshua announced. "As soon as you see the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord your God being carried by the priests, follow after it." The Ark of the Covenant was important because it held the 2 stone tablets on which God had written his law, which showed his people how to live. It also held the promise of mercy and forgiveness when they failed to do what he commanded. This special golden box was the physical representation of the living God. It held the mystery and promise of a Savior. On this day, the people of God placed all their confidence and trust in him to deliver them, and God led them to the land he promised. When the priests who carried the ark approached the raging waters, they did not hesitate to step in. They were not afraid of what they saw with their eyes, because their focus was on the promise God had made them. With courage and determination, they stepped in. And God performed the most amazing miracle. God held back the waters of the Jordan River. From the moment the priests took the first steps into the troubled waters, they miraculously stopped flowing. Far up the river, at the city of Adam, the water piled high as though it were splashing up against an invisible wall. As planned, the priests stood on dry ground in the middle of the river and waited until all the people of Israel passed by. When the last of them had crossed safely, the priests followed behind. And when they reached the other side, God released the waters back into the river canyon as they had been before. God proved to Israel that there was no sea deep enough to hold them back from his promises. It was important that his people always remember how mighty and powerful their God was, so that they would have the strength and courage to trust him in the future. So God had one representative from each of the 12 tribes of Israel collect stones from the riverbed to memorialize this great event. One by one, Joshua placed each stone in a pile as he acknowledged God's power and goodness. In the future, when their children and their children's children looked at these stones, they would remember how God separated them from a painful past, how he built their faith and trust in his strength, how he brought terror and confusion to their enemies, and most importantly of all, this event held the promise of their final deliverance that would come through Jesus the Messiah.
Hi everybody, it's Megan and it's time to do some crafts. Today we talked about crossing the Jordan River, so we're going to make our own Jordan River. To do this craft, you're going to need one piece of cardstock or heavier paper. It can also be construction paper. One piece of construction paper. I chose blue to represent the water. A pair of scissors, a glue stick, and some crayons. I chose some brown, black, and white so that I could color the bottom of my river. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our blue sheet of paper and we're going to cut it right down the center. And then, on one half of my paper, I'm just going to make some cuts. I'm not going to go all the way across. I'm just going to go in a little bit. Doesn't really matter how even they are. You just don't want to go all the way to the edge. You want to leave a good chunk for the glue. So I've got some cuts in that one. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other paper. So there we go. Notice how I left a good amount of blue paper left because we're going to need to put some glue on that in a little bit. Now, with my cardstock or my white construction paper, right in the middle here, I'm going to draw the bottom of my river. So to do that, you don't really have to do anything special. You can just take your crayons. I'm going to kind of color it. Bottom of the river has some sand, so you can put some light brown. But it can also be kind of muddy because it's water. And the water turns the sand wet. Next, we're going to take, well, this is what mine looks like right now. It's got the bottom of the river. You can go a little bit more over if you would like to, or you can color the entire paper. It's totally up to you. Next, you're going to take those blue waves, that blue water that we cut earlier. I'm going to take my glue stick, and I'm going to put some glue on the part that I didn't cut. Make sure it's nice and covered in glue. Try not to go down into the parts that are cut, but just enough like that. And then I'm going to line my blue paper up with the edge of my white cardstock and push it down nice and hard. I'm gonna do the same thing with my other blue waves. Glue, make sure I get all of my edges, but make sure I'm not going down past my largest cut. Do it on the same side. So it's gonna look a little bit like that. And if they cross over in the middle, that's totally okay. Next, now we're gonna make our waves. We're gonna take each little slice of paper that we have and just curl it up towards the top. Push on a little bit and it'll give us a nice curl. We're gonna do the same thing to every strip. And there you have it, your own little Jordan River to cross.
All right, it is time for Spot the Differences. Okay, I will give you a hint, you guys. There are 7 things that are different on each picture. All right, what do you see? Maybe look under the water. Maybe look for the bubbles. Do you see any extra creatures on one side that's not on the other? Okay guys, 25 seconds to go. What about above the water? Can you see any differences there? Look in the sky. What do you see? 10 more seconds, you guys can do this. I think you guys found them all. Well, let's see how you did. Did you find all 7 things? I knew you could. You guys are so good! Well, thanks for playing Spot the Differences. Have a happy Sunday. See you next week.
Matthew 4:18-20.
As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw 2 brothers, Simon called Peter, and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, for they were fishermen. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Come, follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. As Jesus was walking beside the Sea of Galilee, he saw 2 brothers, Simon called Peter, and his brother Andrew. They were casting a net into the lake, fishers of men. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Yeah, fishers of men. And at once they left their nets and followed him. Yeah, they followed him. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Yeah, come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Yeah, come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Come follow me, Jesus said, and I will make you fishers of men. Yeah, come follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Come follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. Come follow me.
Tax collectors and other people who were considered to be sinners often came to listen to Jesus teach. This made the Pharisees and teachers of religious law complain that he was hanging around with such sinful people, even eating with them. In response to the religious leaders' reaction, Jesus told the people a story about a shepherd and his flock of sheep. Jesus said, "If a man has 100 sheep and one of them gets lost, what would he do? Wouldn't he leave the 99 others in the wilderness and go search for the one that is lost until he finds it? Once the shepherd finds his lost sheep, he's so happy that he puts it on his shoulders and carries it home. When he arrives, he calls together his friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, because I have found my lost sheep.'" Jesus explained to those who had come to listen to him that just as the shepherd rejoiced over finding his lost sheep, there is more joy in heaven over one lost person who turned away from sin and returns to God than over the 99 others who are righteous and never strayed. To make sure everyone understood his point, Jesus then went on to tell the group another story. Jesus said, "Suppose a woman has 10 silver coins and loses one. Wouldn't she light a lamp and sweep the entire house, searching carefully until she finds it? When the woman finally finds the lost coin, she calls in her friends and neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, because I found my lost coin.'" Jesus explained the meaning of the story by telling the people that the kind of joy the woman felt when she found her lost coin is the same joy angels in the presence of God experience when even one person turns away from sin.
Well, hello there. what's up, boys and girls? I'm Jamie, and right now we're gonna stretch and recap. And so make some space. Make sure you have no dogs around you, but make sure nothing's around you. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna start off with 10 jumping jacks, okay? And so let's start together in 3, 2, ready, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. Alrighty, and now what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up our legs, we're gonna get into a wide stance, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna reach from one side and then switch to the other. We're gonna do that 5 times. Ready? So lean and switch, that's 1. Lean and switch, that's 2. Lean and switch, that's 3. Lean and switch, that's 4. Lean and switch, that's 5. Good. Shake it off. Inhale. Exhale. Alright, find your balance. Make sure you don't kick anything on accident. And lift one leg up and make sure you keep it nice and tight. Hold that for 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch over. Opposite leg. Tuck it in nice and tight. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Perfect. Take it off. Alright, ready? Last thing, tilt your head to one side. Make sure you have one hand on top of your head. And you're just going to stretch one part of your neck, okay? So hold that for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And switch. Hold it for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. So now let's recap. So the Israelites are so close to the promised land, but there's this huge obstacle in their way, and it's called the Jordan River. They got to cross it in order to get to the promised land. And so the Israelites are like, well, we don't know how we're going to do this. They're kind of freaking out. They don't really know what's the plan here. Joshua, who's leading them, he tells them, look, God has reassured us that we will get to the promised land. And so it's interesting because Joshua tells the priests to carry the Ark of the Covenant, which is extremely important because the 2 stone tablets were there, and that's where we find the 10 Commandments, right? They were inside that Ark, and then he told the priests to carry it through the Jordan River. And so, I don't know how heavy the Ark of the Covenant was, but what we're going to do is we're going to get our strength up so that we can prepare to carry things just like the Ark, right? And so all we're going to do is we're going to reach down, we're going to grab a rock, we're going to fling it up, and then we're going to come in and drop it. And we're going to do that 10 times, all right? And so it's going to be a quick motion. It's going to be a down, squat, throw it up, catch it, drop it, 1. Back and forth, all right? We're going to do that 10 times. So ready? You're going to pick up the rock starting in 3, 2, 1, and squat, lift, throw it, catch it, drop it. 1, throw it, catch it, drop it. 2, throw it up, catch it, drop it. 3, throw it, catch it, drop it. 4, throw it, catch it, drop it. 5, throw it, catch it, drop it. 6, throw it, catch it, drop it. 7, throw it, catch it, drop it. 8, throw it, catch it, drop it. 9, throw it, catch it, drop it. 10. Whew, alright, I'm pretty sure we're ready to carry some arks now, right? And so, but there was 4 priests, they had to carry the Ark of the Covenant through Jordan. And so, as they started walking through, lo and behold, the waters stopped. And so it became dry land, just like when Moses had parted the Red Sea. And so God was delivering on his promise. And so I can only imagine, right? Like what was once a river, all of a sudden is now land that we can cross. Now, the thing is, if there was water over it, the soil was probably still moist, right? Or there was a bunch of rocks and seashells. And so you gotta be careful, walking through it. And so similarly to the Israelites, they probably were walking through it with a bit of care. We're gonna be walking carefully, but by doing some knee tucks. And so we're just gonna go right, left, 1. We're gonna do that 10 times, all right? And so we're gonna mimic the Israelites walking through the dry Jordan River, right? And so we're gonna do 10 knee tucks, starting with your right foot, right leg, all right? In 3, 2, ready, and right, left, 1, right, left, 2, right, left, 3, right, left, 4, right, left, 5, right, left, 6, right, left, 7, right, left, 8, right, left, 9, right, left, 10. Perfect. And so after who knows how long, I mean, I don't think it was a short river, so they probably were walking for quite some time, but eventually they get to the promised land, they get to the other side, and Joshua says, all right guys, before we really live in this land, let's do this first. So gather for me one person from each tribe, and that will be your representative. They're gonna go back to the dry river, pick up a stone, and we're gonna make a nice little pile for it, so that every time you see it, your kids see it, your grandkids see it, and their kids see it, they can remember what God had done. God had delivered on his promise. He had taken the Israelites out of captivity and had delivered them into the promised land. And so when I like to remember things, I like to relax, breathe slowly, and just think on it. And so for the Israelites, they had that stone pillar, but for us, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get wide, and similar to the stretch in the first workout, all we're gonna do is we're gonna come down, we're gonna come up slowly while inhaling, and then we're gonna exhale and let our arms fall slowly. And we're just gonna do that 5 times nice and slow, okay? So you're gonna come down and pretend like you're grabbing something really light, lift it up and breathe in. And breathe out, let it drop. That's 1. Come down, breathe up. And breathe out, let it drop. That's 2. 3 more. Come down and breathe in. And breathe out. That's 3. 2 more. Come down and bring it up and breathe in. And breathe out. That's 4. Last one. Ready? Come down and breathe in while coming up. Last time. And let your arms fall and breathe out. Perfect. Great job. And so here we see that God had delivered on his promise. God had done a miracle before their very eyes, and similarly God will perform miracles before your very eyes. So let's remember all the things that God has done in our lives, but also all the things that God is doing. Let's pay attention to it, right? And let's look forward to the things that God will do. And so I love you all. I do pray that you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all next week.
Time to memorize. Psalm 191, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God. Now it's your turn. Good job! Psalm 191, verse 1. The heavens declare the glory of God.